Hello gamers, and welcome to another episode of 100 Video Game Facts You Didn't Know. Today, we're going to dive into the world of The Last of Us, one of the most beloved games of all time. Let's start with facts about one of the game's main protagonists, Joel. 1. Joel's physical appearance was actually modeled after actor Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, who played Jaime Lannister on Game of Thrones. 2. Joel was originally supposed to have a different name. His early concept name was actually Ethan. 3. Actor Troy Baker provided the voice and motion capture for Joel, and actually found himself emotionally invested in the character's story. 4. If you look closely at Joel's backpack, you'll see a firefly emblem on it. This is the logo for the resistance group fighting against the military. 5. Joel's watch was a gift from his daughter Sarah, who gave it to him on his birthday. 6. In the game's extensive development process, different versions of Joel's character were considered and rejected. One idea had him being a tattoo artist, while another saw him as a former soldier. 7. Some fans have noted that Joel's design bears a resemblance to actor Josh Brolin. Whether this was intentional or not is unknown. 8. Joel's weapon of choice is a modified revolver known as a Magnum revolver, which can fire shotgun shells. 9. Joel's actor, Troy Baker, also provided the voice and motion capture for Booker DeWitt in another popular game, BioShock Infinite. 10. In the game's opening scene, Joel is shown wearing a Boston Red Sox shirt. This is a nod to the team that is regularly mentioned throughout the game, as Joel is a big Red Sox fan. Alright folks, let's dive into the middle section of our top 100 facts about The Last of Us. Today, we'll be focusing on the stoic and snarky teenage protagonist Ellie. Fact number 11. Did you know that Ellen Page was originally supposed to play Ellie? However, due to her likeness already being used for another video game character, the role was given to the talented young actress Ashley Johnson. Fact number 12. Ellie was actually born after the outbreak of the Cordyceps brain infection. She has never witnessed the world before the apocalypse, which is why she finds it hard to grasp things like a working government or malls. Fact number 13. During development, Ellie's original character design was inspired by actress and singer Hayley Williams from the band Paramore. In fact, the artists went through several iterations of Ellie's appearance before settling on the one we all know and love. Fact number 14. Ellie was taught how to play guitar by her best friend Riley Abel. The two of them spent a lot of time together exploring abandoned buildings and playing music, which is how Ellie learned to play and sing. Fact number 15. Ellie is actually immune to the Cordyceps fungus that causes the infection. This means that she is immune to the virus that has plagued humanity, and is the key to developing a cure. Fact number 16. Ashley Johnson, the actress who portrays Ellie, was praised for her portrayal of the character. She won several awards for her performance, including the BAFTA Games Award for Best Performer. Fact number 17. Ellie's backpack is filled with a variety of useful items, including a switchblade, scissors, and a revolver. She also carries a brick around with her that she uses as a makeshift weapon. Fact number 18. Ellie's shirt features a cassette tape design. This is a nod to her love for music and her fondness for old-school technology. Fact number 19. Ellie's character development was inspired by the game's director, Neil Druckmann's experiences with his own sister. He wanted to portray a strong sibling bond between Ellie and Joel that was reminiscent of his relationship with his sibling. Fact number 20. Finally, did you know that Ellie's full name is actually Ellie Williams? She was named after Dr. Ellie Sattler, a character from the blockbuster movie, Jurassic Park, which happens to be one of Naughty Dog's favorite films. Welcome back to our countdown of the top 100 facts about The Last of Us. If you're just joining us, be sure to check out the previous videos to catch up on all the interesting facts about this beloved game. In this installment, we'll be focusing on the character of Abby, who played a major role in the game's story. Let's dive in. 21. Abby's full name is actually Abigail Anderson. 22. Abby's father, Dr. Anderson, was a scientist working for the Fireflies. He was killed during the events of the first game by Joel. 23. Abby was just a teenager at the time of her father's death, which had a profound impact on her life, and led her down a path of vengeance. 24. Abby is voiced and motion captured by actress Laura Bailey, who also voiced other memorable video game characters, such as Jaina Proudmoore in World of Warcraft, and Kate Diaz in Gears 5. 25. In an early version of the game's story, Abby was actually a member of the Seraphites rather than the WLF. 26. Abby's design was based on a Reala fitness model named Colleen Foch, who provided reference photos for the game's artists. 27. Abby's biceps were intentionally exaggerated in the game to reflect her intense weightlifting routine and dedication to physical fitness. 28. Abby's story arc was deliberately designed to elicit conflicting emotions from players, making her both sympathetic and frustrating at different points in the game. 29. The character of Abby was controversial among some fans of the series, due to her actions and the impact they had on the game's story, but the performance by Bailey has been praised by many critics. 30. Ultimately, the character of Abby serves as a powerful commentary on the cyclical nature of violence and the toll it takes on individuals and society as a whole. That concludes our look at the next 10 facts about The Last of Us and Abby's role in the game's story. Be sure to check back for the next installment, where we'll uncover even more interesting facts about this beloved franchise. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we cover the most fascinating video game facts out there. Now, we've already talked about some interesting tidbits about the critically acclaimed game, The Last of Us. But today, we're gonna dive deep into one of the most grotesque and disturbing game characters, the Rat King. So, without further ado, here are facts 3140 about the Rat King that you probably didn't know. 31. The Rat King is a unique enemy that players must face in The Last of Us Part 2, and it's actually a clicker that has been fused together with multiple other infected creatures, creating a nightmarish abomination beyond imagination. 32. The Rat King is believed to have been inspired by real scenarios of rats getting tangled up together in sewers, creating a Rat King phenomenon that has been reported to occur a few times throughout history. 33. The Rat King is encountered in an area called the Ground Zero of the Infection, which is a hospital basement located in Seattle. The area has been completely overrun by infected, and it's said that the Rat King's origins are linked to this location. 34. Despite being one of the most difficult enemies to beat in the game, the Rat King was actually designed to be more of a puzzle to solve than a traditional boss battle. Players must figure out the best way to approach and attack the creature to defeat it. 35. The Rat King's design was so intricate that the team had to develop new technology just to be able to create it. The creature is made up of a complex network of models that are all connected together and move as one. 36. According to game director Neil Druckmann, the Rat King was initially going to appear in the first game, but they were unable to make it work with the technology they had available at the time. 37. The Rat King's sound design was created by recording the screams and growls of dozens of different animals, including lions, hyenas, and bears, which were then mixed together to create an otherworldly sound. 38. The Rat King's name is quite literal, as the creature is made up of multiple rats that have fused together. This is why you can see multiple rat heads sprouting out from different sections of the creature's body. 39. One of the most harrowing moments in the encounter with the Rat King is when it grabs players with its tentacles made of infected flesh, tearing off pieces of its own body to use as weapons against its foes. 40. The Rat King was one of the most talked about moments in The Last of Us Part 2, and it's still a trending topic among gamers to this day. The creature's unique design and terrifying presence solidifies its place as one of the most memorable gaming adversaries of all time. Hey there everyone, welcome back to my top 100 video game facts series. Today, we're diving into some certain information about the hit game The Last of Us. Specifically, we're going to talk about a key aspect of the game's storyline, Cordyceps, the deadly fungus that infects the game's world. Here are 10 surprising facts about Cordyceps. 41. Cordyceps are a real fungus, but the fictional strain in the game is much more lethal than anything found in nature. 42. In real life, Cordyceps infect insects and arthropods, but in the game, it mutates and hops species to humans and other mammals. 43. The fungus in the game reproduces asexually, meaning it doesn't require a mate to spread and infect others in its host population. 44. The fictional Cordyceps fungus in The Last of Us comes in different strains that infect different parts of the brain, resulting in varying behaviors in infected humans. 45. The fungus can spread from person to person through spores, which are released when an infected host dies or is killed. 46. Cordyceps was first discovered in South America before spreading to other parts of the world. 47. Cordyceps in real life is highly valued in Chinese medicine for its supposed anti-aging properties, but the strain in The Last of Us is, of course, not at all beneficial. 48. The Cordyceps virus in the game is highly contagious, and can transform a healthy human into a deadly infected within hours after initial exposure. 49. The game's creators did extensive research on real Cordyceps fungi, and consulted experts on the topic to create a believable and terrifying fictional version of the fungus. 50. The Last of Us 2, the highly anticipated sequel to the original game, is set to delve even deeper into the Cordyceps virus, and its effects on the world of the game. Welcome back to my channel, gamers. Today, we are diving into one of the most beloved games of all time, The Last of Us. Specifically, we are focusing on one of the most terrifying enemies in the game, clickers. Here are 10 facts about clickers that you probably didn't know. Fact 51. Clickers were originally going to be called blind ones, but the development team eventually landed on the name clickers. Fact 52. The sound of the clicker's clicking noise was actually made from a wet sponge being dragged across a table, then played backwards and distorted. Fact 53. Clickers, like other infected in the game, were designed to have a fungal infection that resembles real zombies and ants, called a Cordyceps unilateralis. Fact 54. Clickers can only detect Joel and Ellie by sound, which is why Ellie is able to stand right next to them as long as she's still. Fact 55. Clickers have no eyes and navigate using echolocation and touch. Not even Joel's flashlight can be seen by the clickers. Fact 56. Clickers have a very distinct attack pattern, always striking with a powerful bite after pausing for a moment to aim. Fact 57. If you listen closely while in a room with a clicker, you can actually hear them breathing and muttering to themselves as they search for prey. Fact 58. Clickers, like all infected in the game, were created to represent the idea of humanity losing who they once were and becoming nothing more than a shell of their former selves. Fact 59. Clickers were originally meant to be faster than they are in the final game, but their speed was ultimately slowed down in order to make them more terrifying to face. Fact 60. The clickers are so popular that they even have their very own Funko Pop figurine. Though, let's be honest, who would actually want to display that on their shelf? Hey gamers, welcome back to my channel where we explore the most interesting facts about video games. Today we're diving into the world of The Last of Us, specifically some facts about the character Tommy. Fact number 61. Tommy was voiced by voice actor Jeffrey Pierce, who also provided motion capture for the character. Fact number 62. When Tommy was first introduced into the game, he actually had a full head of hair. However, Naughty Dog decided to shave his head in order to give him a more distinguished look. Fact number 63. Tommy was a former Firefly, but left the group due to a disagreement with their leader Marlene. Fact number 64. In the game's DLC, Left Behind, it's revealed that Tommy's wife was also a member of the Fireflies and died during an operation. Fact number 65. In The Last of Us, American Dreams comic book series, readers learned that Tommy was Ellie's first protector when she first arrived in the quarantine zone before Joel took over. Fact number 66. Tommy is a skilled marksman and was responsible for bringing down the bridge to stop the infected from spreading to other parts of the city. Fact number 67. Tommy's full name is Tommy Miller, although it's never mentioned in the game. Fact number 68. According to the game's director, Tommy's character was inspired by Clint Eastwood's roles in Western movies. Fact number 69. In an early version of the game's story, Tommy was actually going to be the main protagonist instead of Joel. Fact number 70. Tommy's character was so well received by fans that there have been petitions and fan theories calling for a spin-off game featuring him as the main character. Welcome back, fellow gamers. We're halfway through our top 100 facts about The Last of Us, and in this section, we'll be exploring the development of the game. Let's dive right in. 71. Development of The Last of Us began in 2009, shortly after the release of Uncharted 2. Among Thieves, which was also developed by Naughty Dog. 72. Neil Druckmann, the creative director of The Last of Us, originally pitched the idea for the game as a new Jak and Daxter game, but it was eventually developed as a separate project. 73. The initial prototype for The Last of Us consisted of Joel and Ellie walking through a ruined city, but there were no enemies or combat mechanics. 74. The team at Naughty Dog spent a significant amount of time researching the effects of various fungal infections in real life, which inspired the Cordyceps fungus that serves as the main antagonist in the game. 75. The game's development was so demanding that some members of the team reported experiencing symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. 76. To make the game's combat feel more realistic, the development team consulted with former military and law enforcement personnel. 77. The Last of Us was originally planned as a trilogy, but Naughty Dog later decided that the story was best told in 2 parts. 78. The game's emotional story and complex characters were inspired by movies such as No Country for Old Men, and television shows such as The Sopranos. 79. The Last of Us was released in 2013, and was an immediate critical and commercial success, winning numerous awards and selling over 20 million copies worldwide. 80. The game's success led to an expansion in the franchise, including the critically acclaimed standalone DLC, The Last of Us. Left Behind, and the highly anticipated sequel, The Last of Us Part 2, which released in 2020. Alright, folks. It's time for some juicy facts about the masterminds behind The Last of Us. Naughty Dog. Let's take a closer look at the developers behind one of the most beloved games of all time. 81. Naughty Dog was founded in 1984 by 2 college students, Jason Rubin and Andy Gavin, when they were just 15 years old. 82. Despite being famous for their work on The Last of Us and the Uncharted series, Naughty Dog actually started out as a developer of educational games, creating titles such as Math Jam and Keith the Thief in the 1980s. 83. Naughty Dog was acquired by Sony in 2001, and has been a wholly owned subsidiary of the company ever since. 84. The company has won numerous awards for their games, including 10 wins at the prestigious Game Developers' Choice Awards. 85. The Last of Us was initially pitched to publishers as a new IP, but it was eventually revealed to be a sequel to an earlier Naughty Dog game, Jak and Daxter. 86. The company is named after a term used by motorcyclists to describe riders who do dangerous stunts. 87. Naughty Dog is known for their innovative storytelling techniques and strong character development, which is the result of a collaborative process involving all members of the development team. 88. The studio's office is located in Santa Monica, California, and houses over 200 employees. 89. Neil Druckmann, the creative director for The Last of Us, initially joined Naughty Dog as a programming intern in 2004. 90. To create the realistic character animations in The Last of Us, Naughty Dog used a technology called performance capture, which involved actors wearing motion capture suits and acting out scenes in a realist studio. Welcome back to my video game facts list, and now we're going to dive into the last 10 facts regarding The Last of Us. 91. The Last of Us was almost a movie instead of a game. Neil Druckmann originally pitched the idea as a movie to Sam Raimi in 2004, before it evolved into a video game. 92. Due to the game's emphasis on realism, protagonist Joel's firearm reload animations were designed to be longer than usual to give a more authentic feel. 93. The game was inspired by the real-life mushroom Cordyceps, which takes over the host's brain and controls their behavior. 94. The soundtrack for The Last of Us was composed and performed by Gustavo Santaolalla, who won an Oscar for his score in Brokeback Mountain. 95. The game's opening scene where Joel's daughter Sarah is killed took 12 months to perfect, involving over 1,000 animations and motion-captured scenes. 96. Voice actors Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, who played Joel and Ellie respectively, had never worked together before The Last of Us. 97. The game had over 200 different endings written and scrapped before the final version was settled on. 98. The development team at Naughty Dog put in countless hours researching the game's locations and making them as accurate as possible, even visiting cities like Boston and Pittsburgh in person to gather reference photos. 99. Joel's surname and backstory aren't revealed in the game, adding to the game's mystique and leaving it up to players' imagination. 100. Finally, The Last of Us sold over 17 million copies worldwide and won numerous Game of the Year awards, securing its place in video game history as a modern classic. That's it for our top 100 video game facts. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Let me know in the comments which game you want me to cover next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching.